Hi, welcome to Avi's Kosher Kitchen. I'm your host, Avi. First, let's say L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagefen. Oh, beautiful. It's a nice Casa de Cielo, my happy wine from kosherwine.com. Drinking a Cabernet Sauvignon, or as my one of my sons says, a Cabernet Sauvignon. Anyhow, really good wine. Check them out. Very affordable price tag on that too. At any rate, we're going to make a little turkey shawarma. Now, shawarma is a traditional Middle Eastern dish. We're going to kind of deconstruct it and do a little bit of a different take on it. I'm basing my recipe on the recipe from my friend Yosef Silver from This American Bite. Great guy, great recipe. I've, with all due respect, fiddled with it, which is what everybody does, and I hope you fiddle with my recipes. Make them your own a little bit. That's what you should do. Anyway, we're going to start with some turkey cutlets. Now, these are really, really nice turkey cutlets. They are from our friends at Whole Foods. You know, I've talked about them. No antibiotics, no growth hormones, pasture raised, really living a great life, and really, it's probably, in my opinion, the best turkey you can buy anywhere. And of course, all from our friends over at Whole Foods. Now, we first start by not making so much noise, but we're going to do a spice mixture. Now, we've got kind of the United Nations of spices sitting over here, which is how shawarma comes together. Shawarma is a Middle Eastern dish. You find it in Israel, you find it in Turkey, Greece. You could call it a gyros. Some people do that. You call it this, that. Whatever you call it, as far as I'm concerned, it's all shawarma. So we're going to start by making our spice rub. I've got a lot of stuff here. Like I said, I'm going to start with equal amounts. Now, I've got a tablespoon measure here. You can eyeball it if you want to. This is not rocket science. This is just fun cooking. I've got some cumin, okay? About a tablespoon in there. I've got some beautiful paprika, or as they say, paprika. We're going to take about a tablespoon of that. Put that in there. Now, I have here some turmeric, or turmeric, however you pronounce that. This is really, really a nice, healthy spice for you. Look at the colors coming there. This is really just a lively, lively mix. Now we have some nice ground coriander. I'm going to put most of that in there, okay? Now we have a little bit of white pepper. You could use black pepper if you want. I like the white pepper. It just blends in better. You don't see black specks and stuff like that in it. I'm not going to use a lot of this, just enough to give us a little something in there, okay? Now, we're also going to take a little bit of salt. I'm going to just pop it open here, a little bit like that, beautiful. And a little addition that I'm putting in here is a little, what is this, cardamom. Cardamom, beautiful spice, very aromatic. Now, you don't want to go too heavy on this. The cardamom is a very strong power within the mixture. So you want to just give a hint of it so people know something's there and they go, well, something a little different, but they don't know what it is, okay? I'm going to also add a couple drops of olive oil just to have the natural oils come in, some of the oils in here, and a little bit of lemon juice, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice in there for a little flavor. And now we're going to take our fork, mix all of this together. You want to really get this blended well. I like to use a fork because the spices really will go through the tines of the fork. You could use a spoon, you could use a whisk. The base, you could use your hands, why not? Just make sure you clean them. You just want to get this really mixed up nicely together. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to take this spice rub, and I always like to take just a little bit of it in here and just give it a little smell. Nice. Okay, now we're going to take our turkey breast fillets. I've got a container, one at a time. What we're going to do is take a filet, put it here. We're going to take some of our spice mixture right on top. Now, you don't want to use all of this spice, okay, because we're going to reserve some for later when we actually cook it. Like I said, this has got a kind of, I like to say, fester. It's got to fester a little bit in the refrigerator to get all those spices married in and happy and feeling good with the turkey. And like I said, we're not going to use all of it. Just put some in here. Just add all of this turkey. Why not? We're going to really want to cover these fillets really nicely with this. Okay, so now that the turkey's all coated with our spice rub, I'm going to leave it in here, cover it with a little bit of that plastic cling wrap, you know, to keep the air out. Put it in the refrigerator about 2 hours, you know, give or take. Let it sit there, let all the flavors commingle, get happy, and, you know, have a little conversation of their own in there. And then you're going to take it out and we're going to cook it, okay? So that's going to happen for me in about 2 hours or so, and for you it's going to happen right now. Okay, it's been about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. I've had the turkey cutlets, our seasoned turkey cutlets, in the refrigerator. I've got them out. We're ready to go to phase 2, shawarma with turkey. Now, lots of shawarmas are made with lamb. Some are made with turkey, some are made with chicken, like I said before. But the turkey shawarmas, usually when you see them in the big conical roasters in the shawarma shops, you know, the gyro shops, all those places, they got a big chunk of lamb fat on top. It just melts, drizzles right down that turkey, gives a nice flavor. So what I've got here is I have a little bit of lamb fat that I rendered earlier from something else, and it is really top notch. I'm going to put this right here into my pan. And you can see my pan, I've already got it a little preheated, okay? We're going to keep that heat on. That lamb fat is going to just give a tremendous flavor to this shawarma. Now, these cutlets are thin, so they're not going to take that long to cook. In they go. Okay, here we are. We're going to do 3 cutlets at a time. I don't want to overcrowd the pan. That's a mistake a lot of people do. They throw everything on there. They overcrowd the pan and nothing gets cooked properly. Now, I got a treat for you. While this is cooking, I'm going to take this pan, swap places. Okay, this guy's going to heat up. This guy's going to cook over here. Now this is I've also kind of heated this pan a little bit. This is my nice cast iron griddle pan. Now I've got a little masa. Masa is a Spanish word for a dough. This is a dough that we use a lot of times for bureques, things like that, at least in my background, the Turkish background. I know that there's the file, which is a little more flaky, that people use for bureques, but this is what we use. It's very simple. 5 cups of flour, a cup of water, a cup of oil that have been gotten a little bit warm together, and about a half a teaspoon of salt. Mix it all together and you got a nice dough. We're going to just take it and flatten it out, okay? Make it nice and flat. Going to get this pan really, really, really hot. Okay, now you could use a roller, a rolling pin, that sort of stuff. You don't have a rolling pin, you could always use a wine bottle. There you go, a wine bottle, but that label's so nice I don't want to mess it up. So I'm just going to use my hands and just push it out. There's something for me that's nice about just getting your hands dirty with dough. I don't know, I guess it goes back to when I was a kid and we used to play with Play-Doh. Same thing, Play-Doh. Okay, so now I got my pan really hot here. We take a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit, right on there. It's going to get smoking. Now watch, here we go. 1, 2, right on there. That's going to go nicely. Let me check over here. Oh, take a look here. We're going to just flip this, getting some nice color. We want to have nice color on the turkey because shawarma has nice crispy pieces and then it has pieces that are a little bit softer. That's one of the things about it, is that sort of play of textures in your mouth with shawarma. And you're going to see when we put this together, we're going to kind of do a little deconstructed shawarma, that there's going to be a play of textures and flavors and everything else like that. Now, one other thing here. Into my pan, I've got some onions. There they go, little diced onions, okay? And I have the remainder of my spice mixture, okay? That's gonna come in here now. We're gonna get that in there. Let me show you what it looks like. You can see, That's in there, and we're just going to mix that up so those onions. I didn't want to get the onions in too early to get, because they may burn a little bit, and we've got to have them in there for 2 go-rounds. Remember, I've got 6 fillets, and these are only 3 of them. Okay, so that's going good over here. Now these guys, look at that. You're going to get that dark is good. You want to have a little bit of the brown. There's maybe a little bit here of the darker color on it. That's fine. What I'm going to do now is take a little bit of olive oil right on top. Just drizzle, drizzle. A little bit of za'atar. Za'atar is a great Middle Eastern spice with all sorts of little sesame seeds and hyssop and all sorts of great things. That goes in there like that, okay? Just to kick it up and bring it up a little bit, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do, this is gonna, remember, this is gonna go, we're gonna just lower our heat a little bit, okay? Just gonna get a little bit of action on that za'atar. Again, a little bit of olive oil on this side, little za'atar. We're gonna move quick because we don't want it to get crazy burnt or anything. There we go, there we go. That's sort of that grilled flavor. A lot of times, you know, the shawarmas are actually made on a grill, and you want that kind of burnt stuff. Well, I'm not going to really do that in the pan, so we're going to have this as kind of our next best thing. Okay, that's pretty good right there. These come off and they rest. That's all. That's done. Pan goes away. We're going to put this guy back on here so that you can see a little bit better what's happening. And now we've got these going good. Now I'm going to take this turkey cutlet off because we don't want it to get too overdone. I'm going to put our other ones in right here. And this lamb fat, I can smell it here. Wow, just really doing a nice job. I'm going to get all of this in there because that flavor is so good. And by the way, handled raw turkey, wash my hands, be right back. And I'm right back. Okay. So I got this guy going here. Now these fillets, what I'm going to do is we're going to cut them. They're not really quite ready. I mean, they are cooked, but we're going to kind of chunk them up. And this doesn't have to be uniform. Remember, you know, you see those guys when they're taking the shawarma off of those burners, and they got those big knives going into the pan where they take the pan, they cut out half of the pan, and the pan goes on there. You know, crazy stuff, right? So what, and then they kind of crisp it up, and that's what we're going to do here. We want to just cut these pieces up so that they're small. We don't want to have really big pieces. It's going to be tough to eat when we put it on our flatbread here, okay? So this is going to be really good here. We'll put that up there. Hey, I'm looking like a shawarma place. You know, hey, no shawarma for you. You get a shawarma, okay. What do you want? Chips, chips? You want the chips with it? All right, flip this. If the oil's running a little bit low, because it's absorbing stuff, just a little skosh of olive oil, we're good to go. Crank that up, okay? And now you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this stuff in, all this that we chopped up, it's gonna go right in. So we can get nice and happy. And now I'm going to show you why this kind of crisps up a little bit. Then move this aside. Take our plate, wipe up. My wife has trained me very well. I wipe up after I make a mess. When I was a bachelor, I have to admit, things were all over the place. But now, it's like come a habit. Carry a rag, pick things up, move them where they gotta go. What have I become? Anyway, we'll take our plate. We'll take just one of these, okay? Now, I've got a little hummus. This is my garlic lemon hummus. This is from scratch, you know, the hummus beans and everything, the chickpeas, you know, Hummus is the Hebrew word, chickpeas, all nice from scratch. We cooked them earlier today in a pressure cooker and put some of my roasted garlic into it and some olive oil and tahina and everything. Oh, so I'm gonna put this right on here, okay? The reason I wanna put this as my base layer is because this is gonna essentially, get off of there. This is gonna kind of hold that shawarma meat right onto here so it doesn't slide off when you eat it. Because that's the thing. You want it to just be able to stay on there. So we got a little bit of the hummus. Now, we're ready. A little shawarma meat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and those onions are coming along nice. Just gonna take a little bit of the shawarma meat right on top of here. Look at this. Beautiful. This is not in a pita, it's not in a laffa. This is in my own little flatbread here from my world of Avi's flatbreads. Okay, that's done. We got this up here. Clean that part of the plate off. Now, we move this stuff out of the way. Make it easy for everybody to see. Again, wipe up. Gosh, darn her, she's got me trained so well. All right. But I love her. She's so good. At any rate, here we go. Plate, shawarma, hummus. Now, a lot of times when you're loading up your pita and your shawarma, they'll put the Israeli salad and a lot of stuff, and you're holding this big gazunta monster sandwich, right? And what happens? You eat it, and it all falls out of the bottom, right? We've all been there. We've all done that. So this, because it's on a flatbread, nice and crispy, you can hold it with your hands like that. We're just going to kind of pile it up. So I've got that on there. I have a nice Israeli salad here, which, pardon my hands, but we're going to just put a little bit here, just a little tomato, and just pick it out here. Not too much. You don't want to go too heavy because that's going to fall all over you. And if you're eating this at a party or something, you don't want it to slip and slide off. Now, I've got a treat for you. There's something called amba, which is like a pickled mango that a lot of Middle Eastern people love, a lot of American people love it, but it's very big in the Middle East. They take mango and they pickle it on like that. Well, I've taken a great sweet Hayden mango that's locally grown down here where I live in Florida, and it is probably the sweetest mango in the world. I have a tree in my backyard, and I gotta tell you, we just wait all year for those mangoes to come. So I've got this, and I've just combined it here with very simply a little balsamic vinegar and a little bit of salt. And it's really, really nice because you get that very sweetness of the mango, and then the tartness and the sharpness of and the acidicness of the vinegar, and then the salt just gives you a nice balance on it. And I'm just gonna put some of this right on top. And look at that color, really, really nice, huh? Now we're doing something, huh? Look at that. And now, just because you can't have a shawarma without tahina, okay, I've got all that. This is a nice little lemon tahina with some nice fresh cilantro. We'll just drizzle a little bit on top, just for a layer. Now this is a meal in your hand, I'll tell you this right now. Look at that. And very, very nice, very great for a party, for an appetizer, for an hors d'oeuvre. It's just a little different take on the shawarma, and you know, you can easily pick this up and just eat it very nicely. You're going to have that grilled taste because of my flatbread. And by the way, in that flatbread, sometimes we make a rosemary oil. Put that with the rosemary oil and a little bit of pulled brisket on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm not going to say anything more because it's another recipe, another video, and it's somewhere floating around my channel, but it's really, really good. Anyway, there we go. Deconstructed shawarma, perfect for a tapas party, anything else like that. I want to again thank our great friends over at Whole Foods for this wonderful turkey cutlets, no antibiotics, no growth hormones, and the turkeys are out there gobbling all out in the fields like, you know, free turkeys. You know, turkey was supposed to be the national bird of America, according to Benjamin Franklin, but the eagle went out and we get to eat them Thanksgiving in shawarma, which is maybe better. Anyway, I want to say l'chaim, and again also thank our good friends over at kosherwine.com for this great Casa del Cielo wine, which is a really nice compliment. I'm having the Malbec Syrah Reserve, which is really a great compliment to this. So until next time, I want to say l'chaim, happy eating, and can't wait to see you again.